Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be filming a bit of a chatty sit down video. In today's video I'm going to be talking about living on your own, and I asked you guys on my Instagram to send over some questions. So I've got some questions to go through and hopefully I can answer some of them for you. And yeah, it's basically just going to be like a huge chat all about living on your own and like things that you might face living on your own and how to get over them. And yeah, I honestly haven't even looked through these questions, so I'm not entirely sure what is going to be asked, but hopefully it will make a good little video and it will help some of you if you are currently living on your own and maybe struggling. I know like right now it's really difficult because you can't really see anybody else, or maybe you are thinking about moving out and you're not sure whether living on your own is for you. So yeah, I hope this video clears a few things up. I hope the lighting's alright in this video. If you've watched my latest vlog, you will know that I moved my bedroom around recently and I haven't actually sat down and filmed a video since doing that. So the light is now behind me, which is a bit of an issue. So I've had to put my ring light on for the first time in a really long time. But yeah, hopefully the lighting looks okay in this video. Also, my hair is very greasy, but there's nothing new there. So yeah, let's get on with the video, and I'm just going to answer these in like a very random order. And so the first question is, how do you deal with spiders? That is a good question. And actually it's funny you asked that, because I live quite high up, and up until literally like a week ago I hadn't encountered any spiders in this flat. And it's always something I've worried about, because I'm not necessarily scared of spiders, and if there's somebody else there to get it, like, I'm fine. But when you are put in a position of facing a spider when you live on your own, you are the only person that can handle that and can deal with that, so you have to like be the one to make the decision. And I don't like killing things. Yeah, so the other day I had my first ever spider, and it was pretty big. It was like a big hefty spider downstairs by my front door as I was about to leave. I managed to get it on a sheet of paper and chuck it outside. That was how I dealt with it. But you can get like spider catchers, and I know my mum and dad have got one in like my old house where I used to live. My parents have got one. I don't know if they still use it, but you basically, it's just really good because some spiders are really quick, aren't they, and they run away and you can't catch them. But you like, it's like a little hoover that you like suck them up with, and then you can like shake it outside. It doesn't like hurt them or anything. But yeah, I would just say like cup and paper is your best bet. If you want to kill it, kill it. I mean, I'm not the one to make that decision, but yeah, I feel like if it was in my bedroom or something and it was late at night, I'd get a bit scared and I might end up killing it. But yeah, I think you just have to deal with that when it happens. And like, it also depends what kind of flat or house you live in. Like I said, this flat I'm very lucky and I don't really get them very often. So yeah, I've literally had one, and I've lived here for over half a year now. So how do you find living alone? Do you get lonely at all? Sending love. Thank you. Yeah, so this one is a tricky old question. I think I've addressed it a few times before, but I'm guessing a lot of the questions are going to be about feeling lonely. And obviously it's so individual to you how you are going to feel if you live on your own. So for me, like, I am very much someone who likes their own space. I like things done the way that I like them done. And like when I lived at uni, I moved in to live on my own for second and third year, and I loved it. That worked well for me. I enjoyed the fact that I could have as much time on my own as I wanted. I could make the place look exactly how I wanted. All the decisions were mine. But then if I felt a bit lonely and I wanted to see people, like, I had friends to go and see. So I think you're never going to be like fully lonely if you've got people that live near you that you enjoy spending time with. If you do get lonely, you can go and see them. Obviously things are different at the moment, and there is a pandemic going on, and you can't really just see people as much as you would. Like when I first moved into this flat, I was having friends over all the time because it was allowed then. So I didn't really ever get lonely. I guess I do a little bit now, but again, I'm very much a person that enjoys my own company, and it's very rare for me to sit there and be like, oh my god, I feel really lonely. Like, the only times I feel like that is if I'm feeling a bit sad, or if I'm having like a day where I'm feeling really emotional, or like a day that I'm feeling really down anyway, that probably would have happened whether I lived with somebody else or not. So those days are a little bit harder, but overall I don't get lonely and I don't really find it an issue. Like, I always know that I can FaceTime my mum or my sister or my friends. Like, I've always got people I can chat to if I do feel a bit lonely, and I just distract myself. And it comes to the very, very worst and I'm just feeling awfully lonely, I'll probably just go to bed and wake up the next day and hope that I feel better. But yeah, I think it really, really does depend on what kind of person you are, and if you are someone who needs people around you all the time to kind of keep you happy. And I know a lot of people are like that, and there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. But yeah, it just completely depends on you as a person, and I think you don't know until you try. You might really, really love it, or you might really hate it, and you're just not gonna know until that time comes. But I guess it's a bit of a test if you've ever like had time. So if you still live at home with your parents, if like they've ever gone on holiday or gone away for a weekend and you've had that weekend to yourself, how do you feel? Like, see it as a bit of a test, because I remember when I was younger and I lived at home and my parents would go away for like a week or whatever on holiday, I loved the freedom and I loved being on my own, and I just knew then that living on my own was something I really wanted to do. Like for me as well, like I could live with friends if I wanted to, but I prefer to just keep my friendships like separate from that. I think because I know that I like things to be the way I like them, and I can be a bit like fussy with like cleaning and stuff like that, I would never want to live with a friend and then it ruined the friendship and like we argue about things. So yeah, I think I would definitely move in with like a partner if I had a boyfriend, and it came to that. Obviously one day I will live with somebody else and that will be absolutely fine, and I look forward to that day. But yeah, for now I love being on my own. How do you afford to live alone? I want to move out, but I don't think my salary is enough. Oh, this is such a hard one, and again, very, very dependent on your personal situation. I think I have addressed this in a few videos. Obviously, when I first moved here, I didn't have a job, so I was very, very lucky in the fact, I'm very transparent with the fact that my parents were helping me pay for my rent. I did also have savings that I saved up when I was at uni from doing all my YouTube work. Like I managed to save up a lot of money from doing that, so that also helped. And then I did get a job quite quickly. I was about to say where then, I don't know if I can say. I was working for a retail company, like quite a big retail company, for a couple of months as a Christmas temp. So obviously then I had a job doing that, but it wasn't a huge amount of money, so luckily my parents were still helping me. And now I've got a job in marketing, like what I always wanted to do. I wouldn't be able to afford this place without my parents helping me, which I am obviously so, so grateful for. It is a lot of money, like this flat is expensive, and I think we just got a bit carried away with like what I needed, you know. I live on my own, I don't need 2 bedrooms, and I don't need as much space as this flat gives me, as much as I absolutely love it and I'm going to be really, really sad to leave this flat. I think that aspect of things, like the money side of things, and also like some problems that are going on in the flat and stuff, like it isn't worth us paying that much money for it. So I think I am going to be looking for somewhere cheaper eventually. It's not set in stone, but I think it's kind of like a talked about subject, and something that I'm definitely considering doing is finding somewhere cheaper, just because yeah, I can't afford this place, like it is too expensive. Luckily I've got my parents helping me, which I know not everybody has. I'm super, super aware of that. So it is really, really tricky, and I don't know what I would do if I didn't have their help. I would have to be living somewhere very, very cheap. Not that that's even a thing, because everywhere is expensive these days. Or I think flat sharing would probably be my option. But yeah, it's really tricky. But just do all you can do, work as hard as you can, keep saving, and yeah, maybe you will have to like move in with somebody or just sacrifice a few things. So yeah, I wish I could help you more on that, but it's kind of a personal thing, isn't it? Do you ever go days without talking to anyone? If so, how do you deal with it? I think that's a really good question. No, I don't. I mean, I go days without talking to people in person for sure, like most days that is the case. I go into my office for work like once a week now, so I see other human beings then. And then I go home to see my family, because they are my support bubble. I go home to see my mum and dad like every other week. And then I go for socially distanced walks with my friend Jodie, probably like once a week or once every other week, and that's it. That's the only people I see. But I do pretty much FaceTime my mum every single day, so I always talk to her, and I always make sure that I make plans to like FaceTime my sister, or I will FaceTime my friends, or like, you know, I make sure I always talk to people. But yeah, I don't always speak to somebody in person, and again, I find it okay, but I think that's because I just really enjoy my own company. Like, I could probably happily go a week without talking to anyone, and I am very good as I've got older. I wasn't so much when I was younger. I was really awful and needed attention constantly. Like when I was a little kid I was awful, and I think that trait is like still in me a little bit, but I've definitely got better the older I've got, and I'm just really happy to just be in my own thoughts. Like, yeah, that's just how I am. Do you ever feel left out seeing other people your age house/flat sharing with friends? Yeah, for sure. So you guys might watch Charlotte and Carrie on YouTube. They both have separate YouTube channels, but they are great girls that have a YouTube channel each, and I love watching their videos. I message them quite a lot on Instagram, and I think like when all this is over we are definitely going to meet up and I'm going to go and see their new flat. But yeah, for sure, like watching their vlogs of moving into a flat together and like going out on their roof terrace and like drinking together and cooking meals together and stuff, like I definitely do get a bit jealous, and I'm like, oh, that would be so nice to have that. But again, like everyone's just on a different journey and like a different path and stuff, and like I'm not actually jealous of it. I just think it does look really fun. And also like Amy Banks, she lives with one of her friends, and like that looks really fun. They always like cook meals together and stuff. So yeah, I definitely would say like sometimes I'm a bit like, oh, that would be nice, but again, the negative thoughts I have of it kind of override my head, and I'm like, oh, you know what, I need my own space too much. Like, I don't think I could do it. How have you coped not being able to mix with people in lockdown whilst living alone? So in the UK you can have a support bubble, so I have I've bubbled up with my mum and dad, so I can still go home and see them, which is really nice. I am able to go into the office once a week because it's for work and it's essential, so I get to see people then. And I've just been seeing my friends outside for like socially distanced walks. I have been following the rules, I've been really careful with it. But there's only so much you can do, and I know it can be really tricky for some people, but just like make sure that you're FaceTiming friends, and like you can still use Zoom and stuff. I know it's not the same, but just follow the rules, but like do what is best for you as well. Like if you really want to go for a walk with somebody outside, just go and do it. Like as long as you're being safe and careful. Your mental health is really important as well, so make sure you are keeping yourself happy and not like holding back any feelings or getting too overwhelmed with it. Like you should always feel like you can go and see somebody and talk to like friends and stuff. So yeah, I think that's all I would say really. Was it hard organising bills for the first time? Okay, so this question, I could honestly talk about it for days, and this isn't going to be the same situation for every flat, I'm completely aware, but again, this is another reason why I'm like, I need to move out of this flat. So when I first moved in, I managed to sort out my water bill absolutely fine. I basically just got a bill in the post and I paid it, and that was fine. And I've done that a few times because it comes every like couple of months. I sorted out my council tax and like Wi-Fi and everything. That was all relatively easy. Like it's still a new process getting used to it as an adult because it's something I've never done before. Luckily my parents helped me like set it up. Like my dad showed me what to do because otherwise I wouldn't have had a clue. But my electric and gas bills I'm still having a lot of trouble with, and I'm not going to go into it because it's really boring, but yeah, bloody difficult, I tell you that. Some landlords might have made it easier for their tenants, but mine kind of like told me what I needed to do. I tried to do it and it didn't work, and I'm still to this day, so I've lived in this flat since the 1st of July last year, I still am having problems paying my bills because the company that they are signed up for, every time I try and call them and set up a direct debit to pay my bills, they're like, oh yeah, we'll call you back to do this because we can't do it, and then nobody ever calls me back. And I've emailed, I've been on the phone to my like the letting agency, I've honestly tried everything and I'm still having trouble now. So yeah, it has been tricky, but yeah, I'm just having a lot of problems with it. But yours might be simple and like your landlord should help you and stuff like that, so yeah, it should be fine. It's tricky getting it done to start with, but then once it's done and it's set up, like you will be fine. Unfortunately I have had some problems with mine, but anyway, let's move on. God, this coffee's really strong. How do you cope with feeling lonely? I've already said. Do you ever get scared, and how do you get over it? So this question also ties in with another one I've just seen. It says, what do you do when you hear a funny noise at night? So yeah, when I first moved into this flat, I obviously was not used to it. I was not used to like living alone and hearing noises and being like, oh my god, have I locked the door, have I done this, have I done that. And for like a little while, it did take me a while to get used to it, but I'm fully used to it now. And I just think like, look, I have locked the door, I'm safe. Like, I don't live on a main street or anything. Luckily I live high up, like above a building, so nobody can get to my flat unless they have a key to get up to the main bit. So like, I'm very lucky in that sense that I do feel really safe up here, and all the neighbours are really nice, and I do feel safe and I feel secure because I know that the system is secure and people can't get to my flat unless they've got a key. So I think it would be a different story if I lived on like a main road or something. I think I'd be quite scared every time I heard a noise, because I'd be like, oh my god, someone could actually be breaking in. But that's very unlikely where I live, so I just kind of got used to it. But yeah, the central heating in this flat makes a lot of weird noises, but I was used to that anyway because my parents' house makes a lot of weird noises at night. Like, it's almost like someone is running around in the attic, and the same thing is like, I get the same thing here. Like, it almost makes like a very loud like clicking sound, and then it's like someone's like bouncing a ball like in the attic, but there's nobody above me, so it's quite creepy. But yeah, I have completely got used to it now and I am fine, and I'm sure you'll be fine. Like, you've got to think it's so unlikely that anything is going to happen, and as long as you choose somewhere to live that you do feel safe and you feel secure, make sure you've got like some measures in place to make you feel better. Like, you know, maybe put like an extra lock on your door, or make sure your phone's near your bed in case you needed to phone somebody, or if it makes you feel better, like put a hammer or something under your bed, you know, if it gets that bad. But you'll be fine. I'm sure you won't need to do that. Do you structure your time, i.e. write up weekly meal plans, or just let each day unfold? That's a really good question, and I kind of go through phases. So before I worked, it's really weird actually, I've kind of like done the opposite of what normal people would do. So before I worked, when I had like a little short period of time where I wasn't working, I was really like strict with like planning out my days, and I would plan all my meals. But I think it's because I have more time and I wanted to get into some sort of routine. But now I've got like a full-time job technically, and I'm a lot busier, I plan my meals a lot less, because I think like after a day's work, when I finish work, I'd not necessarily like want to eat what I've planned to eat, if that makes sense. I still kind of plan my meals out roughly, like just so I get the right ingredients and I don't have to keep going to the shop every day, because obviously right now you're not supposed to do that. But yeah, I don't really have too much of a structure. I write a to-do list like on my days off, so for the weekend I will write a little to-do list just to make sure I do everything that I need to. But yeah, I think it's nice to have like a balance of both. Like, it is nice to have a bit of structure and routine, but also you live on your own for a reason. Like, I have the freedom to do whatever I want, so like why would I fully plan my day like to the minute, you know? How do you motivate yourself to clean? Wow, okay, another good question. I'm very into my cleaning and I love having a clean flat. Like, there's no better feeling, but I am guilty of letting it build up. Like, I will let it build up throughout the week and it gets quite gross, and like my flat gets very dusty, I don't know why. But I don't really do a lot of cleaning throughout the week, apart from like washing up obviously, and then I save it all up and I do it on a weekend, or like when I'm feeling in the mood for it. I can be lazy with it sometimes, but I just think like I'm gonna feel really good and productive after this is done, so that's kind of how I do it. And also buying like fun cleaning products and like really nice smelling cleaning products is a good one, because then you know your flat's gonna smell really nice. How do all of the cats get along? So I don't actually have any pets here. My mum and dad have got cats back home. We've got 3 cats, and the ones that you probably see on my Instagram or like in previous videos, they all still live at home. Sadly, I couldn't have any pets here, and I wouldn't have taken them with me anyway because my mum would have been really sad. I would love to have a pet. Like, I think I would like to have a cat actually, or like a rabbit or a guinea pig or something, but yeah, I'm not allowed any pets in this flat, so I haven't got any. What is the hardest part about living alone? I found it very lonely and wondered how you stay so positive. The hardest part, I guess, like, it's different for everyone, but probably is just like when you are in the mood to be social, or you've got something to like chat about, or like in the evenings, I think is the only time I ever really feel a bit lonely, or I'm like, oh, I kind of wish someone was here so we could like get a takeaway together and watch a film. Like, when I get a takeaway on my own, I feel a bit weird. I don't know why that is, but like I feel like a bit sad getting a takeaway on my own and just like sitting and watching a film. Like, I've got no one to share this with. But I think it's just part of a process of like being comfortable with yourself. I think it's really important, and yeah, I don't really find a huge amount difficult, otherwise I think I would be tempted to move in with somebody else. I just, in general, I really do enjoy it, and I know it's not the right decision for everyone, but for me it does really work. And I really hope this video was helpful to some of you. Please leave me a comment down below if you have got to the end and you found this video helpful. Also let me know if you live on your own and if you've got any tips that you can share with anyone else watching, or yeah, let's just have a little discussion in the comments about how you guys feel about it. Would you ever live on your own? Do you think you could deal with it, or do you love living with friends, or do you still live at home and you're looking to move out? Like, let me know what your situation is down below, because I just find it really interesting, like, talking to you guys. I love knowing your situation, and also like it's interesting for me to know who my audience are. I feel like when I was at uni it was very clear that a lot of my audience were at uni as well, and now I've like moved out, sometimes I get a bit unsure and I'm like, who is even watching my videos? So yeah, let me know down below, because I would be really interested. But please give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already, and make sure you're subscribed to this channel. I would really appreciate it. I'm going to finish my coffee now because I'm not gonna lie, it's getting a bit cold. I'm going to go food shopping. I'm gonna go food shopping and get my food for the week, and then I'm gonna come back and enjoy the rest of my Sunday and just be a bit lazy, I think. So yeah, I hope you're all doing super well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time with another video. Goodbye.